everybody, and welcome to Saturday Storytime and Craft. I'm Mr. Kelvin, and welcome back. So, this month's book, I know I say this a lot, right? Like, it's one of my favorite picture books and whatever and stuff. And I mean that, like, with what I read. But this one right here, right? When I first became, like, a youth programmer at my other library, I read this, and I was like, oh, picture books can be like that? Like, I didn't know I could like a picture book like that before. It's like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. So what I'm going to do is instead I'm going to read it to you. So our title is called Pokko and the Drum. I know the light's like blocking the title. Oh, you can see it better right there. Pokko and the Drum. And this is by Matthew Forsyth. Now, if you remember that author's name, we actually read a book by his a few months ago, and it was titled Mina. This is the book that came before Mina. They're not connected or any way and such, but this is just the first book that he wrote, and I got hooked. So I'm gonna see if I can do my best to tell the story to you, and I hope you enjoy it too. It's a little quirky. But you'll see what I mean soon. All right, so here we go. There's our little character here. Now, the biggest mistake Pokko's parents ever made was giving her a drum. They had made other mistakes before. Like the slingshot. That's a huge slingshot. Why did they give her that? And the llama. Like, check this out. If you zoom in, right? The parents are beneath the llama. I didn't notice that the first time I read this. And then the balloon. Just slightly bigger than our little Pokko. Slightly bigger. But the drum was the biggest mistake. But she looked so happy. What could go wrong? We shouldn't have given her that drum, said her father. What? Said her mother. The drum is too loud. I can't hear you. The drum was a big mistake, said her father. That sounds like a wonderful idea, said her mother, who still couldn't hear what he was saying because the drum was too loud. But she looks like she's having so much fun. She's sharing her music with her parents. Now, the next day, her father said, Pokko, why don't you take your drum outside for a little while? But don't make too much noise. We're just a little frog family that lives in a mushroom, and we don't like drawing attention to ourselves. Do you think she's going to listen to her father? Oh, looks like she is. Pokko agreed, and she set out as quietly as she could. Quiet. Oh, look. You have a little buddy watching. Is that a raccoon? It had just rained, and the forest was sparkling like an emerald. An emerald is a green jewel, a beautiful green jewel. And it was quiet. Shh, and it was quiet. Too quiet. Ooh, Pokko looks suspicious. Oh, we have here. Pokko started tapping on her drum just to keep herself company. But something stirred behind her. What do you think stirred behind her? A raccoon playing a banjo started following her. So Pokko hit her drum louder. Look, it's starting a little bit of a band here. And then a rabbit playing a trumpet started following them. But Pokko kept playing her drum. Look, our rabbit with the trumpet, our raccoon with the banjo, and our little Pokko and her drum. And then a wolf, who couldn't really play anything, but was very happy to be near the music. And he joined in. And Pokko still played her drum. Look at that little wolf, that wolf with that hat on. He's just enjoying himself, not playing anything. And everything seems to be going just fine. And then the wolf ate the rabbit. And Pokko stopped playing her drum and faced the wolf and said, "No more eating band members, or you're out of the band." That was an unexpected twist. I'm sorry, said the wolf. And he meant it, as you should say sorry after you do something wrong. And they all started playing again. And soon there was a crowd of animals playing instruments. Look at all these different animals. We have what? We have a little turtle here. We have a little pigeon back there. Another type of bird. We have a dog. Yep. What other animals can you see? I'm going to hold it up a little bit. What other animals do you see? Well, I hope you're able to find some new ones. And a crowd of animals following them around enjoying the music. They could not play instruments like the wolf, but they were just enjoying themselves all the same. And they were all following Pokko. Pokko must have been playing that drum pretty well. Pokko, your dinner is ready, shouted their father. No one answered, but he could hear music in the distance. And the music grew louder. And louder. Until a crowd swept through the house and carried Pokko's parents into the woods. Oh no, said her father. Oh dear, said her mother. Oh, I think Pokko's down in front, said her father. And you know what? What? Said her mother, who was just getting to the best part of her book. I promise you, I do not know why I make the mother like an old lady. I don't know why. I think she's pretty good. And no one could hear what he was trying to say. But if they could, they all would have agreed. And that is the story of Pokko and the drum. Now, I like that story a lot because it talks a bit about our gifts. That everybody has a gift. Everybody's good at something. Everybody, and if you don't think that you're good at something, just wait. Just wait a few years, maybe a few days even. You might find something you're very good at. But sometimes our gifts, what we're good at, may not necessarily be what someone else likes. So like, what? The drum was too loud, a little bit too noisy, play it quietly and stuff. But as soon as she was able to share her gift with other animals who were appreciative of that sound, of that so-called noise, they liked Pokko's drum, and they thought that she was pretty good. She had a whole crowd sweep through her house because of how good she was. So all I have to say is this. If you have a gift, and maybe this gift isn't necessarily making other people happy right now, just wait. Your gift might just make someone else happy in the future. Just be patient and let your gift grow with you. So with that being said, it's about time for our craft portion. So thank you for letting me read Pokko and the Drum. I know it's a little bit of a different type of book, but I was happy to share it with you all. It's quite the book. Matthew Forsythe, definitely a great author, and I hope he makes some books in the future. But that said, we'll see you in the craft portion. See you soon. Alrighty, everybody, and good morning, and welcome back to our Saturday Storytime and Craft. Now, welcome to our craft portion. So inside of your kits, I'm going to show you actually what we actually have in there. What you should have in there. You should have our drum kit here, yes, right here. And we are going to be having our reference sheet for when we want to paint our drum, like so. If you notice, they all kind of look the same. And the types of drums that I have here on this reference sheet is a djembe. So we're going to be making our very own djembe this morning. Yes, and in addition to our djembe reference sheet and our cuttables, we should also have a set of watercolor paints. Now, something that you're not going to have is a cup to put your water in for the watercolors. But in addition, something that I also recommend is having a pair of scissors so you can actually cut out the different pieces that are there. A pair of scissors, okay? So with that being said, let's get into our craft portion. Alrighty, so the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to take our drum kit here. We're going to start cutting out the individual pieces. First, we're going to cut out the base of the drum here. Like so. Follow the line, take your time. You don't have to go too fast. There we go. Make sure you don't cut too far so you leave the top part of the drum and the bottom part of the drum nice and safe. Yeah. There we go. Now, a djembe is a African drum that I actually use. I actually use a djembe for when I do story times, usually, in person here at Suffolk. And I got it when I was a little kid. My mom said I did good in school, and she let me choose a musical instrument from a old music shop back in Virginia Beach. And I chose that djembe. I saw it one time that we went there before, and I was like, I knew exactly what I wanted. So we already got our hourglass shape here. So our djembe, like, it almost kind of looks like a flashlight if you turn off to the side like that. Yep. But it does have like an hourglass shape to it. The sound will come out the bottom, and speaking of the bottom, we'll cut out the bottom first. The bottom is pretty hollow. It's probably one of the most accessible drums that you'll see. You use your hands, or you could use mallets as well, but using your hands is usually the typical way of doing it. Djembes are usually used in drum circles. Probably one of the more used drums for drum circles, since it's accessible. And for those parents and guardians listening as well, djembes come in small sizes as well. So I'd recommend if your child is interested, you can always get those. So you see how this is going to be the bottom part of our drum, like so. Or did I have that backwards? Yes, I did have that backwards. So the wide end here at the top. Good. All right, now let's do the top part of our drum. Now, the top part of the drum traditionally is usually a form of animal skin. Now, modern day djembes are sometimes they have like plastic or artificial skin, essentially, and artificial like animal skin and stuff. But traditionally, they would actually take fallen animals from the respective country that it comes from, and they would actually repurpose the skin for the top of the drum. They would have to stretch it very, very, very tightly so that it actually doesn't like rip and such, but it creates a different sound depending on how tightly you stretch the skin on top of the top part of the drum. But we don't have to worry about that here in the modern day. We just use our plastic. But yeah, see, this one goes at the top right here. Now, one thing that I did not go over when we were talking about the supplies that we have inside of the kit, I should have given you all a glue stick. That's what we're actually going to use now to put our drum together, our djembe together. Now, let me get a little bit of these scraps away. Let's take off our glue stick here. The cap of it. Ooh, my glue stick has seen some days. It's okay. Alrighty. Now, I'm going to start with the bottom part here. Doesn't have to have too much glue. Like so. Got some on my fingernail. Yeah. But that's okay. You're going to make a little bit of a mess. Alright. Making sure the wide end faces the top part here. It really doesn't matter. But for me, this is just what I'm going to do. I'm going to line it up so that it covers the base here. Good. Press that down. Very good, very good. Once you press it down enough, it should be sticking pretty nicely. See, like so. And then use this one right here to flip it over for the top part. Glue stick. Put some there. Not too much, just enough. Good. And then we'll do the wide end. Top. Find your nice spot here. About where the djembe becomes like this triangle spot, that's where I usually put it there. You don't have to. This is just where I usually put it. As long as the top part of the djembe is fully covered. It almost looks like a jar or a lid. Now it really looks like a flashlight. Right, here we go. Press down. And bada bing, bada boom. That should be our djembe. And if you look at our reference sheet, it looks pretty similar, right? Yes, it's our djembe. It's our drum. Now that we've got this done, let's actually work on making our design for our drum, right? So let me get the glue stick out of the way first. Cap this. Let me get some paper towel. I also recommend getting paper towel or a spare piece of paper, just in case. Put that right up here. Good. All right, got my watercolors all ready to go. And I've got my water right here. And if you look at the reference sheet, djembes can have lots of different designs. Like my djembe, has a lot of large shapes, but it's a darker tone one, right? Or we have this one, which has very clear triangles, rectangles. Then this one is very, very fancy here with lots of triangles and zigzags. Or this one, I've actually seen this one in person. This one actually has a painted scene with plants and a little bit of animals as well. So yeah, be creative with how you want to do it. So for me, I'm going to try to do some simple shapes. First, I'm going to paint my bottom section. Again, you can do whatever you'd like, but I'm going to paint my bottom section black, similar to the djembe that I actually use myself. There we go. I'll use the same color for the base of the top part of the djembe. There we go. Even though this isn't the same drum that Pokko was using, you're still able to make just as much sound, or sometimes louder, with a djembe. Because djembes come in various shapes and sizes. Some djembes are very large, and they create a very, very big booming sound. And you're just using your hands to hit it. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. There we go, we've got our base here. I'm going to use a little bit to darken up the bottom here. We don't have to add too much water. There we go, good. And now, time to do some artwork here. I'm going to start opposite of my djembe, which is really darker colored. I'm going to use some yellow as my base. Mellow yellow. A good fellow. You should think about what types of colors you'd like to use. Do you want to use darker tones? Do you want to use warm colors like yellow, orange, red, pink? Or do you want to use cooler colors like blue, purple, green? Think about it. Think about what you'd like to do. Take your time. Kind of like how it's a little bit like shading. I'm really going with the light, the flashlight motif with this thing. It really just does look like a flashlight. There we go. Nice. Good. All right, now I think that's enough color there. So I think I'm going to start adding a little bit of orange with the yellow. Start blending that a little bit together. There we go. A little yellow, a little orange. Here, try to blend it nice and smooth, nice and even. Come across fully over here. Yes, very nice. Follow that orange down here. Try to blend it in with the yellow a little bit. I might even pick up some more yellow to blend like so. Very nice. Looks like a little bit of fire, yeah? Or a sunset color. And of course, might as well add a little bit of red, but not too much, just some specks. There we go. Some specks of red. There we go. Trying to blend that in nicely. There we go. Good. All right. I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to add some shapes or some lines with the brown. Don't have to add too much water, because one way or another it will definitely spread. There we go. And the brown will kind of mix with the yellow or orange a little bit. Since it is watercolor, blending kind of happens whether you like it or not. There we go. Almost looks like a little bit of an eye. We're gonna continue on. Yep, gotta continue. Oh, more brown there. Very good. Nice. And then one more stripe. There we go. All right. And now inside those cells, I will add a little bit of green. A little bit of green. In the form of some nice circles. Now everybody's djembe is going to be different, so take your time to express yourself through your drum design. Very nice. And that, oh, well, I should probably do the lid as well. A little bit of brown. Or the, not necessarily the lid, but like the skin of the drum up here. There we go. Now that's complete. All right. And that is my djembe. And well done for making yours. Now yours probably doesn't look like mine, but that is totally all right because every one of you are an artist and you're able to enjoy your own creations. So I hope you enjoyed this one. And I hope to see you all next month for our next Saturday Storytime and Craft. So till next time, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your July. And I'll see you in August. Well done again, and bye-bye, everybody. Bye!